project at the moment, but I haven't seen you in forever. I'm glad to finally hear your voice.
Dude, yeah, it's good to talk to you, man.
You know, our I have no excuse for being tired. I'm pretty sure you're tired after putting the future generation to sleep.
No, no, it's not too bad. Thought of a fun thing we could do is like every 10 minutes during the episode, we just say something really embarrassing that Charles wouldn't want on the internet. So that way he has to go
Ooh.
through and cut.
Bro, you're
I think
you're
that'd
way
be pretty
ahead of
fun.
me on this. I like this.
I don't know. I don't know if I know that much embarrassing stuff about Charms that I would be comfortable telling you, though, to be honest with you.
I only now that I think of it, I only know like one, maybe two off the top of my head. But honestly, if we want to, we could just make this episode about him and just embarrass him the entire time.
We just start making up more ridiculous rumors as we go along.
Oh yes, yes.
And sprinkle in like some truth so it's like believable because people are like, oh yeah, I think I heard that, but it'd be a good we would have had to pre-coordinate though. It'd be sloppy if we tried to just shoot from the hip.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like it though. This episode just went way off road very quickly, and I'm liking where this is going.
So how you been, man? What you been up to?
Uh, yeah, Arizona stuff. I just got back from Indiana. I was doing a door knocking job out there for a couple months, and now I'm back
Okay,
here.
cool.
Yeah, so looking for a couple sales jobs at the moment, and then yeah, just kind of reestablishing myself here for I don't know for however long I'm going to stay here, and then go back to Florida. But
Sweet. Sounds good, man. How you liking it?
it's okay. I mean, I've been here for about a few years now, so I think my time in Arizona is running its course. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to make good use of it while I'm out here.
Well, I'm loving the show, man. I can't say I definitely haven't listened to all the episodes, but every episode with somebody that we know, I try to listen to it like when I'm, driving around or doing whatever, and it's great, man. So congratulations to you guys, I guess, on everything. It's awesome.
Well, appreciate that. I mean, you guys make the show. I mean, in essence, not to say the flattering stuff to like the guests, but I mean, we can't do it without you guys.
No, it's dope, and I'm the worst about like calling anybody or like every now and then I'll think of somebody and like shoot them a text or something, but mostly I'd like talk to Charnes. I know I've texted you a couple of times and maybe definitely a couple of other guys, but it's nice to hear from people and be like, yeah, I probably should have reached out to that dude, but I didn't. But it's like good to hear from people and know that they're doing good and stuff. I've noticed that the episodes, I mean, it makes sense that they would get better over time, but like what do you do to like prepare for episodes? I don't know if this is something that people would be interested in hearing, like the ins and outs of like I guess producing or whatever. But like, do you have like a stack of notes? Like these are the questions that I want to ask this person, or things I want to talk about, or stuff, or do you just kind of go in and you just talk like you would normally?
Yeah, I don't know if it would help to prepare, but I mean, yeah, I've been shooting it from the hip. I don't think have I don't think I've done any like vigorous preparing for like, an episode, or maybe I'm not really because it's because like everyone except for the tubes up one we did, like everyone's been an episode that we know, so or it's been
Yeah, that
somebody
makes
else.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus,
the
like
two stuff one was dope, man. That was really cool.
I haven't kept too much in contact with him, but I should probably reach out to him. Between that and then like the meme page, like, it's crazy to think where we were 4 years ago, and then now we're here.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. Like I'm glad that I mean for me it's just good, I guess. Like I still get the notification. I don't talk to the group chats or whatever, but like the group chats that we have on Instagram and stuff, like, it's good. It's always good to hear from people
Mhm.
and know everybody's doing all right. And I'm glad, like I know it sucks. Like I didn't get out of the Marine Corps, but I, like the platoon kind of, went away. So that definitely blew for me. So I imagine it sucked way worse for everybody who was like then just cut off completely from like the community like that. So it's good that everybody has kind of a, somewhere where they can go and just like kind of think back or do whatever it is they want to do, like reminisce, I guess, or just talk to the guys.
Yeah, how was that for you? Because like I always talk, like that's one thing we always talk about with like the guys who got out. But like even though you stayed in, like what's kind of I don't know what kind of ran through your mind when you were going to your new unit, your next phase in the life of Marine Corps, but you still got to leave behind the OGs, the boys you were with at the start.
Yeah, so I kind of knew, right? Like, um, I knew there was a lot of decision making that went into like getting out of the infantry and all that stuff, and I didn't. It's not that I wanted to do it because like I love the job. Like the job was great. The problem was that we just got unlucky and we never got to do it. Not live anyway.
Yeah.
And so the thing for me was like, all right, I gotta put myself in a position where I can actually get employed, even if maybe the job isn't quite as kinetic as I'd originally envisioned my career being. And so uh, I knew that it was going to be like a change in, I guess, kind of the community because I knew it wasn't going to be that infantry community anymore. So I wasn't going to be like quite as much of an asshole as I used to be at work and, like kind of get away with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was kind of wrong about that. There's definitely some things that are different and like, it is a different community and it's a change, but it's still the Marine Corps and like there's a lot of grunts. Like I made friends with all the grunts in my unit that were prior infantry guys, and so we kind of have our own like kind of I guess like subculture within. And then I have a bunch of friends that used to be like whatever like data guys, radio operators. Like it doesn't matter. Like they're a lot, good dudes are good dudes. Doesn't matter what they used to do or whatever. Like we're all in the same boat now. So yeah, it's definitely been a positive over, like definitely a net positive overall, and I like it.
I
I'm
like
having a lot of fun.
I don't know. Everyone's always quick to complain about like post stuff, but I like to hear the optimism in your voice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure I did my fair share of complaining before. I tried not to be like obnoxious about it, especially once like all the guys that were like in like squad leader positions and stuff. It's not fun to like hear people just bitching and moaning all the time, especially when you're around the junior guys. But I mean, not that there's not shitty parts, definitely you have bad days, whatever. And overall, I'm happy with the move, especially now that like every time. One thing I will say is like every time something happens and I think we're about to go to war, I
Yeah.
freaking like I have like this moment where I'm like, fuck, dude, I might have messed up and thus far it hasn't happened. Like nothing real has cracked off yet. So
Yeah.
um, I'm still I'm still not kicking myself too hard, but like I remember I was in like a school and the last phases of Afghanistan happened, all the stuff in Kabul. And I was like, I had like a legit like existential crisis where I was like, holy fuck, like the boys are getting some right now, and I'm doing this pogue shit. Like that sucked.
Yeah.
And and then like whenever the stuff in Ukraine like first happened, I was actually deployed when that happened. I was in Europe when that happened, and we all thought like, oh, we're going straight there. And I had a little moment too where I was like, oh man, I might have fucked up. Like this might be it. And then it didn't happen, so it's all good. But
Well, if you want to be optimistic, it hasn't happened yet because they are. I mean, they're still fighting. So if we want to look at it that way,
dude, shit is going. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff in the news
oh yeah.
uh, happening nowadays. But
So my fan
anyway, I
making too
don't.
much noise. It's 107 out here in Arizona, so I'm trying to keep the air flowing.
No, you're good on my end. I don't know what it'll sound like to Charnes at the end, but I'm sure he
Okay.
can Dr. Dre that shit up and fix it.
Yeah. We'll have him finesse his moves. Maybe he'll get Schroeder to do it if he can't do it.
Does Schroeder do producing on this stuff too?
Oh no, I was just making a joke.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't know if you were serious or not.
Gotta forgive me. It's an inside joke. Sometimes it lands, sometimes it won't. But
Yeah.
well,
Oh, actually, what's funny is I talked to Lieutenant Byrd earlier today. I texted him.
really?
Yeah. I just texted him because I actually met a guy who was one of his TBS students. So apparently he is an instructor at TBS now, which is like I guess like it's like one of the earlier schools in the officer pipeline. It's not OCS, obviously, I don't think,
Yeah.
but it's like the thing right after. It's like basically their version of SOI. It's like way longer. Apparently, the training is actually way better than like the standard like MCT SOI type thing.
Hmm.
Um, or so my officer friends tell me. I'm sure they're like juicing it up and making it sound better than it actually is. But
Yeah.
yeah, I texted him. I sent him a picture of me with that guy, and I was like, "Hey, I ran into this dude. He said he like was telling me some funny stories about TBS, and hope you're doing well and stuff." And he, yeah, so he thought that was cool.
I haven't heard from him since since we all got out. So it's interesting to hear from or hear about him at least.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good spot for him. That's funny that they sent him to TBS. I could see him having a good time over there.
So speaking of stories and pictures, the I guess the subject of today, you and
Okay.
you and Philly. What's the
Yeah.
I know the head's a very vascular or the face is very vascular, but how did you get the rank on your forehead there? Curious.
So yeah, I debated really hard about like which picture I wanted. So when you said send in a picture, because I like there's so many good ones, right? Like everybody has the Google Drive. There's like 1,000 really awesome pictures,
Yeah.
but that one like it's like just such a good memory. Like because one, I can mostly remember it, like which I was real fucked up, obviously, when that happened. If you didn't guess that already,
Yeah.
but I don't remember what the occasion was, dude. Honestly, it might have just been like a field day. Because I remember when we were in Okie, field day was like, not that you needed an excuse to drink, but that was kind of the excuse. Like everyone just started day drinking, right? Because you were cleaning all day anyway. So you just crush beers or whatever it was you were drinking, strong boys,
Yeah.
and you kind of hang out all day and clean your room and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think that might have been it. But anyway, I've never been like a huge. I can't keep up like drink for drink for sure with almost anybody because I don't have the best alcohol tolerance. I think by the time the evening came around, I'd just been drunk for a little too long, and I don't. I know we were like sitting around playing spades or something because I know we had like a bunch of stuff sitting. We're all like sitting around a table, and the conversation was something to the effect of like, uh, you know, like looking forward to when we get back, right? And what it's going to be like to be senior. Because remember, like, well, when you're like a fresh boot, you're like, man, I can't wait. So I don't like when I get back to my first appointment, like I don't have to be a boot anymore. And
Yeah.
you're like really looking forward to that. And then you start getting closer to it. You start like thinking about like, all the implications of that and like what's it going to be like when I actually, have junior guys like that's kind of like a big if you're, you know, thinking about that, and you probably should be like, what's that responsibility going to feel like? Like, am I going to do a good job? That type of stuff.
Mhm.
And somebody was saying something about like pinning on NCO, and like when you basically somebody like cracked a joke, like, when you pick up NCO, you're not gonna be like for the boys anymore. That type of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what I said. I think I said something to the effect of like, I'll always be like a Lance Corporal, like whatever it was I said. And then I like tried to take my hand and just like pin the rank into my forehead, but like it wouldn't because like obviously it's forehead. So there's like a little bit of skin and there's bone.
Yeah.
And then so I just like tried to pin it in. It didn't really stay good. And I think that's when the picture was taken. Because if you look at the picture, it's actually kind of like it's like not in my forehead good.
Yeah. I'm
So I don't
looking
know
at
if that was when the picture was taken,
Mhm.
but and then after that, like I could tell it like wasn't staying in good. So I kind of like knocked my forehead against the table a couple of times. And then it then it
Jesus.
was like really in there. And then
Oh
it was
God.
like that bitch was in there. And I'm pretty sure we like finished the game of spades with that shit in my forehead.
There-
And so like we did this whole thing, like we probably lost because I was probably playing against Charles and Philly and they always fucking beat me.
yeah.
And then like I get to the end or whatever, and then I remember I was like, all right, I gotta take this out. Like this kind of hurts.
Yeah. I was about to say,
And I
what like were you feeling any of that when you like you had to at least
no,
hanging your dome piece on the table?
no, because I was real fucking drunk, man. So like you gotta think like my little ass, I was probably like four or five strong boys deep, and those things were like off the chain anyway. So I was probably
Okay.
like close to blacking out.
Oh wait,
So
wait.
I
It's
like
set. It's 7:20. It's 10 minutes. So we gotta say something about Charles.
oh yeah, what's fuck I you can't put me on the spot like that. I can't think of anything.
Oh sorry.
Oh yeah, when in Okinawa, Charns, do whatever you will with that information.
And then I'll do one the next 10 minutes. That way we can save some ammo. We'll keep going.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
Um
Well, yeah, we'll try.
yeah, so So I don't remember what the last thing you asked me was. Something about, oh yeah, like did it hurt? No, because I was so fucked up I probably couldn't feel my face. But then after a while, like it was just like sitting there, and I was like, all right, this shit kind of hurts a little bit. So I
Hmm.
think like a couple people maybe like left. I think I was mostly doing it for the cat guys because I remember they always used to like um not instigate shit, but like they were uh I
Both
think
on
they
the
were just like
crazy side of things.
they were the ones who were like talking shit and saying like, oh yeah, you're gonna be like everybody else when you pick up NCO. I was like, fuck that, I'm this shit for life, like whatever dumb shit I said, and then I like smashed my face on the table and then finished the game of spades, and then they left, and I was like, ow, my forehead hurts. And I fucking like pulled it out, and this shit was like bleeding, like not too bad, but like it was a head wound, so like they bleed a lot anyway.
Yeah.
So like anytime you like poke your head at all, it bleeds a lot. So like it looked worse than it was. But I remember having like this little snake bite on my forehead. And I went back to the room and I remember too because Charnes and Philly's room was always like belligerent.
Yeah.
Like there's always like drunk people. Like it was just like it was like one of the party rooms, I guess, or like one of the livelier rooms. And
Hmm.
my roommates were it was like me, Calixte, and Bowman. And so it was like calm, like pretty calm vibes in there all the time. And then I came back like stumbling drunk into the room and like it was like Calixte and Bowman, like I think they were maybe up like watching Netflix or something. And then I walk in, I'm like, what's up, boys? And they're like, what the fuck? And I just passed out on my bed.
So other than the yeah, that like you don't really remember. Yeah, you don't remember much of it.
I just don't I just remember it kind of blurring together with and that's why I picked it to like as a pick because I feel like it's just like a like everyone has a memory like that. Like even if you didn't do that exact type of dumb thing, like everyone remembers being like, in the barracks or wherever it was, like somewhere getting like too hammered with the boys and like just doing some like dumb shit. Like at the time, it seemed like such a funny, either like it seemed really funny or it seemed like it was like it made sense or it was important or whatever it was to you at the time. And then you look back on it, you're like, why did I fucking smash my goddamn that thing through my face? Like that's so dumb. But it's like I love that picture.
Yeah.
Even though I know it was dumb. Like I look back and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
No, yeah, it was easily worth the investment. It's one that you can. I mean, at least when you showed me, I mean, it made me go like, all right, I have questions right off the rip. I know it definitely has others with that feeling too.
Yeah.
Who's
So,
is this? I would assume this is Charnes, but whose feet do we see here in the left hand side here?
oh man, hold on. You got to give me a second. I don't have the picture pulled up. So,
Someone wants to know because they wanted to beat off to this on feetpics.com. I'm asking for a friend.
dude, that might be like Dousher or somebody. Like, I don't know. It was probably one of the previously mentioned cat dudes that would always used to hang out in that room.
Hmm.
I don't know who that was.
Harry, I think they're Harry if I'm looking at it right. There's a small.
Might be Harrians. I mean, who know? Like, I don't. If I feel like if I was able to, I feel like this is a trap. If I was able to recognize
I
another
said
dude's
Harry.
feet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna. If I could recognize another guy's feet like on site like that, that'd be pretty fucking weird.
Be a little weird, but hey, we've all seen each other naked before, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but like, who's looking at feet? When there's so many dicks hanging around.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that.
That's one thing I definitely do a lot less is like make real openly gay jokes like that. That's one thing I don't like. I still do it definitely, like it happens, but it's like it's just a little. It's like not as funny when most of your time is spent like not in the field anymore.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to. I don't know if this is the right word, but doing it in like a more corporate environment, it's probably not the doesn't land as well.
Yeah, it kind of misses when because like the jokes in the field are always like something's like whatever like snuggle buddy something or other like who wants to come like sleep, share my sleeping bag with me or something. But it's like when you're when you're just like sitting at your fucking stupid Marine Corps computer that doesn't work because it's a piece of Marine Corps gear, and you're like trying to make dick jokes. Everyone's like, "Man, what are you doing right now?"
Uh, has your sense of humor kind of died? Because like I imagine like being a dad, like you probably matured a lot, but like has that changed like how you just been as a Marine, just like humor wise, or
think so, man. Like because what's funny is like I was talking about like I have, the guys that I hang out with, and it's not like I definitely like writ large. I think the new community is great, but like just like on a personal level, I still identify with the people who have the same like I don't want to. It's not. I know it's not exclusive to the infantry, so I don't want to call it like an infantry sense of humor. But it's like that, everyone just kind of acts like an asshole and like makes the same kind of dumb jokes, and it's like that kind of thing is still like what I gravitate towards. Maybe it's just because of what I know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just what I'm used to. So like whenever I hang out with people and they kind of have that like I don't know, maybe like an edge, maybe like it's kind of like that edge to them where they kind of have that quality where they're a little bit like um it's almost like abrasive. It's like where most people would find it like abrasive, like they wouldn't necessarily want to like hang out with a person
Mhm.
like that. I'm trying to think of it in terms of like in the civilian world, like how they would think of it. And then like when I see that, I'm like, you're my guy, dude. You seem like you're a little off. What about you? Like, is it like I'm sure it's like a crazy transition going the same thing because you went like straight into, I mean, like a pretty major university, right?
Yeah.
So was it like you would just try to make the same jokes and everything would just miss and everyone's like, what the fuck is up with this dude?
Oh, 100%. Like
Yeah,
it's
that sucks.
it's different just because like, and I know I should have expected this going in, but like I'm going to a college, so like they're all still kids nonetheless. So it's
Yeah, it's like younger people. They're all real idealistic and probably a lot more like, I don't know if like liberals the right word or whatever, but like they have that mindset, I guess.
they're all like, and I'm stealing this from one of my friends, but yeah, they're all like NPCs, kind of like robots a little bit, and it's like, yeah, nobody's,
Really.
yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but I don't know. Being in the,
Like they just haven't been around long enough to like really like form their own thought processes yet, kind of thing.
yeah, they're just all like, and I know I'm not good at articulating things. They're just all like bleh. They're just boringish. It's not to say for everybody because there are like, because ironically
Yeah,
Arizona State has like a big student vet. Like there's a lot of Marines that go to, especially a lot of prior like grunts that go to ASU. So
that's awesome.
oh yeah, like my two roommates, I actually met them when I went to school here, and then we've been like, I mean, yeah, now we're like Uber buddy. I mean, we're roommates now, so like both of my roommates, one of them was he's a 41 as well. He was in 60s, and then the other one was an assaultman, and we just all happened to meet each other like in class one day.
That's pretty funny, man.
Oh yeah, but I mean, and that's like one of the rarities. But like everyone else, they're all, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. It is. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
just
mean
gotta find
it's
the right.
hard, man. Like, what are you gonna connect with somebody, especially like for me, like I'm talking like I'm able to find people who I have shared interests and shared experiences with, and like this guy's like an RO or something. Like he gets it. Like he's still been to the field, even though what I mean. It's not like completely alien, but for a dude who's been you know just like high school and he went straight to college, and not like you're a little older, you've been around a little longer, you're maybe like you got a lot more experience under your belt, and then you come in there and you also have no shared experiences. So like everything that you think about and talk about and even like the verbiage that you use, it just throws everybody off. So they're just like, man, what is this guy? Like you almost seem like alien to them. I can see where that would be like the case.
Yeah, and I can't speak for like adults, but like since they're younger, like none of them have like real good communication skills. So it's you gotta feel like, and I maybe I'm trying to, I guess I'm trying to speak for like other people, but you kind of feel lonely just because that's like one thing I would say it's hard doing out like when you transition and stuff. There's like a sense of loneliness. I don't think people use that word enough.
No, yeah, I feel that. I feel that like my own experience to some degree. So I can imagine it's probably a lot worse, especially, if you're depending on where you're going and what you're doing. Like if you don't have, imagine if you hadn't met your roommates or whatever, right? And you had like really nobody that you could have like, just kind of defaulted back to just still being yourself,
Yeah,
like the you became after the Marine Corps, and then you didn't really have anybody to like fall back on to still act like that and feel comfortable being like that around. Like that's fucking shitty, man.
mhm. Man, this podcast took a dark turn a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why it's
Sad
got so
turn.
dark. I don't know. I don't think it's dark. I think, but I mean, definitely people are. I mean, the reason I don't mind talking about it is because I'm sure maybe not everybody, but some people are kind of feeling like that right now.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, I'm shitty about reaching out to people. So
Well, hang on. Let me make some changes here. I'm going to turn on the light real quick because it is actually getting dark outside. So need to
okay. Do you put the video on the podcast now?
say again.
Do you put the video on the podcast now?
Only for YouTube and then Facebook because I just added those on. So that's just
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't even have my camera on.
no. I mean, yeah, I was maybe gonna say something, but oh, we didn't say a new thing for Charms. It's already been 10 minutes. We gotta.
Has it been another 10? Holy crap. Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead, man. Send it.
Um, what's what I need yeah. Well, 20 minutes should work, but yeah. So the only one I can think of off the top of my head is there's one.
Oh yeah, it's really funny that you use your like ASU. That's like a really Marine Corps thing to do to be like, I'm not fucking paying for a Zoom subscription. Like I'm just gonna use this like free student one that I have and just
Mhm.
I feel like it's the same mentality we used to have about everything. It's like obviously the unit's not going to give you money to pay for stuff, so you just figure it out.
Yeah.
Beg, borrow, and steal, whatever you gotta do to make it happen.
But it does make
Oh,
good use though, because at the end of the little timer thing, we do a little CSMO drill at the end, so that's always fun.
what's the CSMO drill? Like, what do you have to do?
So the tradition that we do at every episode, every guest at the end, they have to say a piece of advice for the boys that are still in. Uh,
Okay,
any plugs? So like, if you want people to follow you on social media, if you're promoting something, if you got business things, anything you want to promote, and then
absolutely not.
and then at the end piece, wise words of wisdom or like a good one liner, and you have 1 minute to do that. So you have to get it
Oh,
in before, because when the timer runs out, it ends the meeting automatically. So your goal is to get all that in, and then when you finish, I yell out, "All right, CSMO." So we owe.
okay. I got you. I got you. Well, I feel like that's not fair because I got like forewarned about it. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I feel like it's a little bit. It looks a little different every episode. So
It is
uh,
because I went back to ASU this past semester, so Zoom didn't require that of me. So like the past handful of episodes, I didn't need to do it with people. So,
I got you. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is one thing I wanted to talk to you about. You fuck. I heard you were talking shit. So,
ooh, okay.
not like actual shit,
Oh
but
yeah, no, I'm yeah, I get it.
me and Charnes were talking. We were originally me and Charnes and Philly were gonna like get together and hang out, which I'm super stoked about. Up in a couple of weeks here, because I've seen Charnes like a couple times in person since he got out, but I haven't seen Philly in person at all. So,
Okay.
um, but we were all gonna hang out. But then originally, what it was me and Charnes were talking, and we were going to do the Goggins challenge, which is, if you don't know, it's 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours.
And it's a run,
And
right?
so the Goggins challenge is a run, like a slick, you just run with like tennis shoes and shorts or whatever the fuck you wear when you run.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to do was make it like a ruck or a hike or like whatever pace you could do with like 45-ish pound, like a regular ruck.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it, we were like, what's the farthest we've gone in like the shortest amount of time? Because like we've had some bad, like I mean, you remember, like we probably had some. I know we had at least like a 40 or 50 mile week one time,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But that was like 4 days.
Hmm.
So and that sucked, right? But like also we were boots and we were a lot younger and stuff. So we're thinking about like, could we do it with at our own pace with just 45 pounds. So we were originally discussing that. And then he said he reached out to you because we were trying to get other people to do it. And obviously no one wants to do it.
Yeah.
So he reached out to you and you were like, oh, that doesn't sound hard. You were like, yeah, that sounds totally doable. Like, motherfucker, what are you talking? Like, I might go to the hospital after, like, this sounds terrible.
Well, yeah, because 45 pounds is like a third of your body weight. That made me why.
Yeah, but like in general, dude, are you telling me that you could like and it's 4 miles every 4 hours and you can't front load them? So you got to do like you do 4 miles. You do a 4 mile ruck, like whatever pace you can do. So like, let's say you do like a 12 or 13 minute ruck pace, like kind of respectable, not too fast.
Yeah.
But like, let's say you maintain at 12, but then you got to do another one of those motherfuckers in 4 hours or like in 3 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you do that again and again and again for like, for however many repetitions. I think it's like 12 repetitions total. Like that would suck ass and you're not sleeping. Like,
Yeah.
I
For
mean, it would
2 days.
legitimately, it would be like a self-inflicted, like horrible field op, basically.
I feel like this could be a whole podcast in and of itself because I feel like what I'm about to say, I feel like Charles is going to go against, but I know how the telephone game works. It gets misconstrued. I
Okay.
know for a fact it's doable. That's what I probably told Charles that it is doable. We can definitely do it. By no means did I say that was an easy task. You're talking to someone who's in Arizona
Okay.
where right now it's like we're in the triple digits literally every day. Like,
Yeah, dude, that would be another ball game. It's also the dry heat. Do you feel like comparatively, I know you probably haven't been doing any, I don't know, you probably haven't done like a fucking 12 mile hike since you've been there, but
hell no.
compare the dry, because like in my experience the dry heat was always way more manageable in the field than like the wet, like you can't fucking breathe soupy heat of Camp Lejeune.
Oh, I apparently I'm like the lone shark with this because everybody says that like the dry heat's way better. But I mean, I think this is like the Florida man part of me sticking with it because like I grew up in humidity my whole life. I prefer the wetness of that than I do the
Really?
dry heat. Yeah, because
That's psychotic. I think you're a sociopath.
well, yeah, it's probably. I mean, yeah, we're not mentally right if we're going in the Marines anyway, so probably.
Yeah. Well, that just means you're not like going to college unless you're Charms. But if you have a degree and you go enlisted, like arguably you're more retarded than if you just went straight in out of high school.
Yep. And then that's our next Charnes rumor secret. He's retarded.
Is that a secret that he had a college degree and was like, but I feel like it's not embarrassing because he had a justifiable reason because he tried to go to the recruiter and be like, hey, I have a degree. And the guy was like, yeah, see you in 2 years. And
Oh
he was
yeah,
like, fuck you. I'll just enlist.
yeah. I mean, I'm not in a literal sense, but just yeah, it's fun to poke fun at him.
No, I guess maybe this is putting the word out. So I still want to do it before the end of the calendar year. So now actually this is a not an embarrassing, but like a Charles thing. Maybe he will want to edit this out because now I'm putting it out there like if anybody wants to do it with, like join me and Charles, and now I'm holding Charles accountable.
Hmm.
Because he said he wanted to do it, and I understand like why we ended up like because I don't fucking really want to do it right now anyway, because I'm also comparatively not in as good a shape as I was, but uh like before the calendar year, if anybody's interested in doing it, like obviously remotely, we're not gonna all get together, even though that would be cool if we could. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours with a 45-pound pack. Fuck, that sounds like way worse now that I say it out loud to another person.
yeah. I don't even know when I could make the time to like put that because with some of the jobs that I've been trying to get now, I don't even know if there's a time I could put those two together. Really.
Whatever. So somebody will say that they'll do it.
Yeah. But when we are rich and when we have all the free time, I mean, we can definitely do it.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will get rich, dude. That'd be cool. One of the boys will make it big one day and just
I mean, I'm going to, but I just time. Yeah, just need to give it time though. I don't know
man,
who.
you said that with a lot of certainty. That's fucking baller, dude. That was real big dick energy out of Sewell right now. I haven't that was a lot of confidence, man.
Well, hey, confidence is key in everything you do. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hey, you stole my I'm just gonna say that at the end for my motivational stupid one-liner thing.
there we go, man. We're about to have the quickest CSMO drill ever. This is nice.
Nah, I'm definitely not doing that.
Hey, see, you haven't been a grunt in 4 years, but you're still kicking it in all the mountain gun drills right now.
What's that now?
I said you haven't been a mortarman in a few years, but you're still kicking it in all the gun drills right now.
Oh yeah.
How well do you think you could do anything
Oh,
on the gun right now if we had to go back?
so I actually have I have a funny and also a very pogish story about that too.
Okay.
So I was somewhere like doing an supporting an exercise, and there was a grunt battalion like kind of co-located near me, and I made friends with all the guys, like they were cool, and I told them like when I introduced myself to them, I told them like, hey, I used to be like in 2881s, and I told them whatever. And so I made friends with him quick, and so I was over there, and I saw one of the squad leaders that I knew who was in um the 81's platoon, and he had like his boots. He was out there drilling them, making them do gun drills, and I'm wearing like business attire because I'm going to like a meeting, not on a Marine Corps installation. So I'm wearing like khakis and like a coat, like a kind of a nicer jacket. And I walk up to this guy and I'm like, "What's up, bro?" And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Is like one of your boots fucking up right now?" He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna kill this kid." I was like, "Bro, like, give me a couple of seconds to like warm up here and make sure he doesn't see me or whatever, and then have him race me and tell him if he beats me, he can be done with the drills for now." And he was like, "Okay." So I like warmed up, got the sticks hot. Like I wasn't doing great, but like apparently this kid sucked really bad. And so I did. I smoked him. And he gave him one drill. It was like I don't remember what it was. It was a large.
Yeah.
And then we did the drill, and he fucking lost. And this kid squat like his face. First of all, you should have seen him. It was like it sustains me to this day. Like thinking of this kid's face, was he was like, "What the fuck?" And then his squad leader was like, "He's wearing fucking khakis." Like that's the only thing I remember him saying. And then he like this kid just stood up and they just ran away. Like they just ran into the distance. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude."
Now, let me kind of play if I could dive into it. Did he lose because he was slower? Or did he lose because he like was he faster but he lost because like the data was wrong or like what was?
No, no, he the kid was very slow.
Oh no,
I mean,
no.
I think he was like brand new, I mean, to cut him a
Okay.
little bit of slack, I guess. But
Yeah.
also, like, even if you're brand new, you just got out of SOI. I haven't touched a gun in like probably close to 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, I think it
So,
does give him a little bit of leeway, but yeah, still though. I mean,
and I was literally wearing khakis. Like it was pretty fucking it. Like if that had happened to one of us, like we would have gotten murdered.
Jake from State Farm beat you in a large. Who is
Yeah,
this?
literally,
What,
like Jake from State Farm smoked you in a fucking gun drill. Like that's not good.
what was Jake wearing? Khakis.
Khakis and fucking leather Converse. I mean, I'm sure the kid had some inkling that like a random person is not going to just like he probably knew that I at least had some idea how to manipulate the system, but maybe he
Oh,
thought I
of
was like
course. I mean, if you get on the gun,
some rando who had like done dropped rounds on a gun line a couple times, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I could be like maybe it was something like that." But he was definitely very surprised. It was pretty funny.
mhm.
But
What do you what
what's
do you
up?
miss the most about being a Mormon?
Oh, dude, fuck. That's that's like that's a tough question.
Hmm.
I just miss. So I already talked about the community thing, and I would definitely say that's one thing I've been pleasantly surprised with. But I still do miss like missing the community, like the infantry community, and missing the platoon. I feel like are almost two separate things because as much, and I'm sure there's people out there thinking like, maybe if I had stayed in, like I still would, but like you still would have lost the boys that you went through everything with. So I don't know if that's like comforting or whatever, but
Yeah.
you still have to go through that, right? Of like, I don't fucking, you're not going to see like your best friends every day that you kind of grew up with in the Marine Corps. I mean, but,
Uh-huh.
but I guess like, I don't know. There's just something like satisfying about like the manual labor aspect where I know that everyone, especially if you got out, you probably still have that. Maybe some people, I feel like most people in our platoon were pretty like smart and like good about not being like completely like, I guess, looking down on people who don't have like strict infantry jobs. But
Yeah.
if you had that mentality of like I still fucking I've put in some worse days, some days that I would put up against my worst days in the infantry for sure. And but there's something about it being like purely physical, like the physical labor of like I just got my ass kicked by this cannon on my back for like however many hours, or like for me it was always the base plate,
Hmm.
and especially as a junior guy, so something like satisfying about like when you get back and you put your gun gear down for the day and you turn your rifle in the armory and you like take your fucking flak off and you're like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
that sense of relief and that sense of like I just did something hard and gratifying, I think is definitely, I don't know if it's missing because I still get it just in different ways.
Mhm.
but that feeling of like, like that cold ass beer. Like I don't know if you were around for that when we used to say cold ass beer. I don't know who started that. I think it might have been Stokes.
Yeah, but no, I
But
completely get
like,
it. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, the I was kind of thinking of like the yin and yang aspect of it, but I don't know.
Jesus, you're going fucking deep this episode. Are you on edibles right now? What the hell are you doing?
No, I'm not on edibles. That just came straight out of my dome piece. For real, for real.
That's
On God.
that is an impressive dome piece, Sewell.
Thank you. Circa
Yeah, if you're just listening and you never seen Sewell, Sewell has a fat ass fucking head.
Speaking of, I don't think I have anything more for just to shift the embarrassment. I don't think I got anything for Charms right now. I don't think I.
No, I think we're good on that. I think it's enough that we said it in the beginning of the episode, so now he will have to listen to like every single thing very carefully to make sure that we didn't slip anything in there.
Yes.
We could get real wild and throw in like a rape allegation or something like, oh, you remember that time Charles fucked Doofy when he was
Oh yeah.
asleep?
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say any more about that. So he has the option to just bleep that
Allegedly.
one sentence out. Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh. But honestly though, I have nothing else because I don't think I know anything embarrassing about him though that I could throw in. That's why I kind of mentioned
No,
it.
that's all good. I kind of did that as like a bit at the beginning. I didn't think you were actually gonna want to do that, but
Oh,
that's,
that no, that
you know,
that's brilliant. That pay because that's perfect for someone like him. Like,
yeah, because he's neurotic as fuck, so he's gonna have to know everything we
yeah,
said.
he has to. Yeah, like you said, he's got to know everything with it. So now, I don't know. You know him very well, so like now, literally, as you said, he's gonna listen to every bit of this episode. Like he can't ignore this entire episode.
He's gonna fucking sit in his garage, just like eating his gummies, just like stressfully pouring over everything we said, just fucking freaking out. He's
Oh,
gonna probably punch me in the chest as soon as he's gonna be so mad.
maybe that's one thing we should do because we talked about doing this for like a Patreon gig. So like if we do
Yeah.
special episodes, since I usually host, I'd probably be on some kind of drug like a gummy or be a handful of beers in. But maybe you and I could do gummies one episode if whenever we have you on again.
Dummy, I'm in the Marine Corps. How am I gonna do gummies?
I mean, uh,
Yeah, I mean we can get drunk. I don't care, but I can't.
I will figure it out with the gummies. I mean, yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, who even
Okay,
said
sure.
you're in the Marine Corps? I mean, it's not like your face is on the camera. I mean, how are they going to say you did gummies? You're not like they
Yeah, I'm
can't.
not.
They
First
can't
of all, I'm not even playing this game. Stop talking right now, and Charms edit the last three sentences out because I'm not going to have the chance of there being content of, and they're going to be like, because first of all, if I make it to the end of fucking 20 years without getting at least like some sort of like preliminary hearing, it'll be a fucking miracle. So I'm definitely going to be like standing tall in front of the man at some point, like, well, sir, I have these character statements, and he's going to be like, what about this fucking podcast episode where they said, yeah, we'll be right back, and then 10 minutes later you were talking about fucking the Clockwork Elves.
well, we're talking at least another 10 years from now. I'm pretty sure I'll be famous and got a lot of connections and money by then. I will definitely bail you out of that if that ever happens. Like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
you're gonna call the DoD up real quick. Be like, yeah, I'll buy you one of those F-35s if you let my boy free.
I'll 100% do it. Be like, sir, why did you let me go after all that time? I would say, yeah, I didn't think of it. I was gonna, like, yeah, we were definitely gonna kick you out early, but then Florida man or like Cody called me and like, wait a minute, like, Joyner, like, yeah, man, like, here, just, yeah, like he didn't actually do anything. Okay, I'll sign him off, dude. He's good.
Jesus Christ, I'd like to change the subject now. This is making my blood pressure go up.
Nah, we'll have Charms edit that part out. He's pretty smart, but
I don't care. It's not that big a deal. But yeah, I feel like I had something I wanted to ask you about when it came to like managing the. So like keep me honest on time because I don't want to like fuck with the timeline or anything. So just make sure you let me know. But like
you're good.
when when you when you started getting, I don't know how big. Like I'm assuming it's getting like progressively bigger, like the social media stuff and everything.
Mhm.
But as that's happening, like, are you having? I know you're having different people because obviously you had like tubes up on and all that stuff. So you're kind of like meeting new people outside of our immediate wheelhouse that we knew.
Yeah.
But are you having like a crazy amount of people like contacting you, like is there like crazy shit like, hey man, I was in the Marine Corps in fucking 2010 or something, and you know what I mean? Like, is there like a crazy thing that's happened where it's been like a dude who's reached out who just, something like that? I'm
Uh,
just kind of curious about that.
so I actually wouldn't know because Charnes manages all the his Instagrams were like where all our stuff is at, and that's actually Charnes who manages that, not me. So I have no idea if anyone
I
has.
thought you did the meme page.
Oh, on the meme page.
Oh, I guess that's kind of separate, huh?
I mean, I try to tie it in. Like, I'll let people know, like, and like that follow the page, like, hey, we do the podcast, but
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, on the page, yeah, I get a bunch of people who are like still into it. There was one guy who was, I mean, they don't ask to do like the podcast because a lot of them don't know about it. I try to advertise it when I can. We had one guy who served with a lot of the people who died on the memorial. He messages me every now and then.
Oh,
Um,
fuck yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like semi-famous. I mean, like in terms of the page growth because I partnered with Mission Essential Gear last year. So like I'm cool with Regan, and he has like Northern Provisions. He's got I want to no, he doesn't have Tubes Up. He does stuff for Goons Up as well. So like I'm in that circle, even though I don't really talk as much because I haven't focused on it.
Do you know Goons Up?
I not really. I mean, I message him a bunch back and forth because like I'll whenever 2-8 or like whenever the guys that are still in when they send me any kind of like machine gunner stuff, I'll send it to Goons Up like just to kind of share. And then when God rest his soul, but when Molstat passed away, we exchanged a lot of stuff for his funeral stuff and his memorial.
Yeah.
Now like on
Yeah,
a
that was great. Yeah, you're talking about this episode being dark, but honestly, those that first like series you guys did that kind of kicked everything off. I feel like, I mean, it sucked. It was like obviously like pretty solemn, but like I was glad that after that happened, my initial thought or like maybe fear, I guess, was that it would kind of like lose momentum or like people just wouldn't want to do it or something because like whatever, like sometimes stuff falls off, but I'm
yeah.
glad people are doing it and it's like lighthearted now and like people are just telling stories and stuff because I feel like that's how you kind of like keep shit like that from happening again,
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're
for sure.
and it's weird to say and like I don't know. I don't really have like a good emotional IQ because I feel like a lot of people, I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're fucking Asperger's as shit, so it's fine. No, we all know that about. We love you anyway.
Hey, thank you. But no, but like I've had like and to take a really more emotional term, like I've had people who like messaged me saying like, dude, like your meme page saved my life. Like after like the whole like suicide stuff, like and everything was like going around all over, and I'm like, well,
Damn.
Jesus. I
Yeah, that's tough, buddy.
know it's weird, and I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we kind of got out of that. Like when CSM, like we kept the momentum building. I mean, it's been slow. Like we're trying to. Because it's weird to think that this podcast is almost 2 years old now. Like
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
yeah, I mean we don't have like that many episodes. I don't know. We're trying to make it work. I've been talking with Charnes about trying to make it monetizable, which like I would if I could make a living off this.
That would be pretty crazy.
Oh my god, I would. I've been trying to think of a bunch of things, and people have recommended like ideas to kind of grow the show. I've been thinking about this too. I want to get like older Marines or like older vets on, like because I've been thinking like a lot of the World War II generation's really dying away. So if I ever see any like World War II or like Korea vet, like that'd be cool as hell to have them on before they start withering away.
Yeah, that'd be fucking nuts. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. World War II in Korea, like that's like in the '90s, but you could definitely probably find a couple of Vietnam cats still
Oh,
still kicking
Vietnam,
around. Like,
yeah,
and
definitely.
those are the dudes you want to talk to, bro. Those are the fucking goons. Like, obviously, all of them are fucking goons, but like I know you've met like a couple of Vietnam vets. Like you hang out with those dudes for a couple, and you're like, man,
Hmm.
these are the fucking boys. Like these are the original boys.
Yeah, it's and now that you mention it, I'm kind of thinking about this. I feel like Vietnam vets, they're a lot more and I'm not I know it sounds kind of weird throwing us like in the GWAT kind of thing, even though we didn't like, we didn't really
Yeah,
deploy or
yeah,
like see
sure.
much, but in terms of like all the Marines who were like all the service members who fought like in the war on terror, I feel like they're a lot more relatable to like the Vietnam vets are like a lot more relatable to them than like World War II or like
Yeah, like the generation kill mentality. Like that makes sense.
Yeah, just because it wasn't like because Vietnam wasn't so much of like a conventional war more than it was just like a guerrilla war on steroids, pretty much, and like all this
Yeah,
counterinsurgency kind of thing. So
yeah, that makes sense.
now we're going really intellectual right now. This is
Are we? I didn't feel like it was that crazy.
oh well, maybe I may well I guess it's the dome piece. Just
Or you're just used to having dumbass conversations.
yeah, that too. That's, that hasn't changed at all.
Well, what do you think, man? I mean, do you have anything else?
I mean, we could try to hit back on that story a little bit from when with the rank on your forehead. Just like how was that deployment for you overall? Because like I know that was like our first deployment, but how did you like it?
Um, yeah, man. It's like weird looking back on those deployments now because I gotta frame them. Everything. Because at the time, I felt like very disappointed by those deployments, both of them. The ones that I did with 2.8, especially the second one, and not that. So like I guess to like start at the first. Everyone. I mean, you were there, right? Like basically every deployment you go on, I don't know if this is just like always or if this is just something that unluckily happened to us both times, but someone somewhere along the way is going to be like, all right, we're going to war, boys. Like that conversation is had.
Yeah,
So like when we were there, obviously we had no like thought processes going out the door that this was going to be anything other than just training, right?
hmm
So then we get to Oki and all this, like in pretty much like right in the beginning of the deployment, all this stuff started happening where if everybody remembers back when like North Korea, like tensions were high and uh
Rocket
we
Man.
weren't sure. Yeah, Trump was talking, was talking all this shit and that was cool. Like, and we were all like stoked, of course, right? Because it's like, okay, we're going to war, boys. Like that was what happened. Like we got those a couple of briefs, and it was this, whatever. And then it did obviously it didn't happen, and we were like, and then it just turns into like sad alcoholism because you're like, well, fuck, we're not really training too much because most of our training stuff is kind of like just from the hip. We just plan it last minute, and then we're also not gonna go see a real combat. So you just fucking drink in the barracks, hang out, and do whatever you're gonna do, go fishing and stuff. So
Mhm.
that was like really disappointing for me, at least like for me personally. I don't know how everybody felt about it. I think some people had a little bit of a better time.
Yeah,
And then same thing with the Mew, except it was like worse because it was way more realistic because that was during COVID. And then we had that drone strike where we like blew up a Iranian general who was hanging out at a KH compound and was like, all right, well, why are you hanging out with terrorists anyway, bud? But
yeah,
Iran got all pissed and then the strike happened and then, everything started escalating. And then, what looks to be, if you're standing on the flight deck, like every vessel in the Navy is like funneling through the canal there, like headed for Fifth Fleet, and everyone's like fucking doing pull-ups on the pipes in the boat and like just chewing on forks and stuff, like putting their desert camis on, like let's fucking do this. And
yeah.
then we just float in the water for like 7 months. And it was like, holy shit, dude! Like it happened again. So
But you can't have the 7 months of slaves without the horrible times though.
you can't, right? But like I definitely would have rather. Like, I don't like, you don't want to wish for war, right? But like, if you're in the fucking Marine Corps, you're wishing for war. Like, let's be honest, right? Like, that's what we all wanted.
Oh yeah, I mean
And
that's why
so,
we're there nonetheless.
sure. And especially if you join the infantry, like, so I don't know, man. I mean, so that like really like the second one, especially took a lot of steam out of me as far as like my motivation for continuing to do what I was doing because I felt like it was just going to be a rinse and repeat of the same thing.
Uh-huh.
So, hence, the reevaluation process and the lat move and all that, whatever. And yeah, I mean, now I feel like uh, a little bit more experience under my belt. I feel like I've gotten a little bit more of that like itch satisfied or whatever you want to say of like getting, kind of getting to do my job a little bit. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like, but I feel like I look back on those deployments more fondly now that I don't feel so like desperate to I guess like I don't have that like I haven't done anything at all. So like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I don't have that quite as bad as I used to.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, I look back, I was like, it's okay. It doesn't like I just fucking it wasn't wasted time because I like some of the best friends I had in my life are dudes that I got close with on those deployments and
Yeah, I guess
so
the
that it's
transition
cool.
to the, I guess to like put into the positive stuff, it's like, I mean, with all that said, like what makes you want to stay in then?
I mean, I would say like my job satisfaction is pretty good right now, and just like future opportunities, I'd like to look at some a little different billets and maybe go to different places and career advancement is a little more lateral laterally forgiving, I guess I could say, in my current community. So I just have other places I can go, other things I can do, and I feel like if I can get to those places and do the job there, then that's fucking awesome, and I'd love to do it.
Now, have you ever thought about, because that it makes more sense, like when I looked into it, I mean, even though my aspirations aren't there anymore, but like contracting or doing something like that, it's kind of,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, whatever's on the table now, and um and I don't, and also too, it's widened my scope of thoughts too. Is like I don't have to stay in the Marine Corps. Like I want to because it's the community that I like, and it's the way I'm used to doing business. But if there's an opportunity that I feel like I'm going to get the same or better job satisfaction and what wherever, like that's not, I don't need that to feel like satisfied, I guess, if
yeah.
that makes any sense. Like I'll go work for whatever, but like the idea being that it's like I'm not going to go get like some corporate job for a paycheck. Like
Mhm.
God bless. Like if that's what you want to do, like who cares? I don't. No shade to anybody who's like just doing a job to get a paycheck. Like that's you do whatever, especially like all the boys. Like you did your time, so you earn that. Like do whatever the fuck you want to do. But for me, I still need that. Like I got more I want to do in this world. So
Yeah.
like when I say this world, I mean specifically like in my job field.
Mhm. I like that. I like that way of putting it. I mean, Wagner, they're looking for people right now to, you know, fight. I don't know if you thought about that.
Oh yeah, well they had a immediately failed. I don't know if you want to call it a failed insurrection. That was something.
Oh, I could dig in that rabbit hole for a minute if I wanted to.
That's well, we don't have time for that, and also I'm not comfortable discussing geopolitics on this podcast right now because that's that's a steep subject, and I don't want to get in legal trouble.
Oh no, I like it. I completely understand your decision to plead the fifth on this one. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything you say, you remember that Chappelle show skit? I don't remember exactly how it was. It was I think it was the Black Bush one, right? Where he was like, or was it that one, or it was like when they switched places with the like white defendant and the black defendant and the dude. Yeah, that's what
yeah,
it
yeah.
was. It was like they
I
came in the
plead
white
the
dude's
fifth.
house and they shot his fucking dog. It was
Yeah.
like a golden. It was like a golden retriever, and the dog was like, and they just shot him in the face. And then the guy was like, I plead the like he was doing this whole like fucking song and dance, like literally like tap dancing in front of that shit was hilarious.
I plead the one, two, three, four, fifth.
Yeah, that's the one. That shit's funny. We quote that all the time at work because I got this one buddy who like loves Chappelle show. He's a little older. He's actually been in the Marine Corps like almost 20 years. He's a fucking salt dog. And
Okay.
he does my job. And he that dude's a fucking animal, man. I love that guy. But yeah, like he always quotes like old shit because he's an older guy. So whenever we spent like a couple months together doing some work and he was like he always used to like the fucking password to his like Wi-Fi puck or whatever was like yellow cake, or maybe the Wi-Fi was called yellow cake.
Yeah, look.
And we always used to make jokes about the Black Bush skits because that's what was popular when he was coming up in the Marine Corps because it was like really funny. It's
Yeah.
like the invasion, like they would always make jokes about the invasion and how it was like bullshit intel or whatever, but like nobody gave a fuck because they were slaying bodies, like
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. I will say we got 3.5 minutes left on the timer thingy. Do you want to continue it for a few more minutes, or do you want to try and wrap it up?
That's completely up to you, bro. I'm good. I'm good calling it, or we can do whatever you want to do, man.
We'll buy another. Yeah, yeah. It'd be awkward to kind of end on here. We'll buy it for like maybe another 10, 15 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, sure. Okay, just send me the new link.
Is there really anything else to touch on? I think we can probably wrap it up from here. Honestly, we hit on
Yeah,
a
dude.
lot.
I don't know. I feel like we've been talking for a while, but
Oh yeah, we definitely have.
Yeah, I don't think so, man.
All right. Well, so we'll do our little wrap up tradition. But Joyner, even though I couldn't really see your face on here, I'm glad I could catch up and talk with you though. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, dude, of course. We texted a couple of times, but it's always good to hear from you, man. Good to hear you're doing well, man.
Oh yeah. And this won't be the last time that we keep in touch though.
Yeah.
So the little tradition we have, I'll just keep a reminder. So 3 pieces. I know you said one of them you ain't gonna do, but words.
Well,
So advice to the boys that are still in, obviously yourself included. Any
okay.
promotions you want to do, or like anything you want to promote, or if you're on social media, anything like that.
Yeah.
It's a snazzy one-liner or like words of wisdom at the end.
Okay. Just start whenever.
Yeah, just go.
All right, cool. So, all right, I guess advice for the boys that are still in. I don't know, just there's going to be like 1,000 opportunities, random things that come up that you weren't expecting. So just like put your hand up for whatever. If you think it might be cool, just do it because it's even if it's not as cool as you're hoping it's going to be, like you're going to get some experience out of it and you're going to learn, especially if it's something new that's like you don't have experience in, you don't know what it's going to be like. You're going to learn a new side of the Marine Corps, a new thing, a new skill. And you're going to bring that back if you end up going back to wherever you came from before, and you'll be better for it for sure. So especially if it's like challenging, it seems like too hard, like you might fail, overwhelming, whatever. Just go fucking fail. Who cares? Nobody's gonna hate on you for it. So just give it a shot if you're interested at all. Just try it. I got no social medias, none of that stuff to promote. Just follow fucking Cody Sewell on everything and support the boys and all the stuff they got going on because all that shit's great. And I don't like a one-liner like piece of wisdom. I don't have anything like that.
It could be
I
either
feel
one.
like that.
Like,
Oh, like a one-liner or a piece of wisdom.
yeah.
Um, damn man, I don't know. I guess just like okay, I'll bring it back to the picture, man. Just like stay a little bit of a Lance Corporal. And if you know what I mean by that, then you know what I mean. If you don't, you just fucking don't. But like you don't have to be like a dirtbag, but like keep that mentality and think about like when I'm making these decisions, like how is this affecting, the Lance Corporal? And if you're not in the Marine Corps anymore, there's a fucking civilian equivalent of a Lance Corporal. So just be a good dude and make sure that just because you're out, you can still like look out for the people around you and stuff like that. And hopefully everybody holds me accountable to that same thing, man. So yeah, that's
Stay
all
a
I
Lance
got.
Corporal. I love it.
Stay enough. Just keep that Lance Corporal attitude and just have it at the forefront of your mind. Look out for the boys and do your fucking job.
Amen. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Yeah, I
All right,
got
man.
nothing else, but Joyner, love you. Can't wait to keep in touch. And we're out of here. See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Love you too, bro. Bye.